and kind of what's going on with Empower LA in terms of using NationBuilder as the software you use to build your website and also do all your communication. So, okay, so essentially what NationBuilder is like an all-in-one digital engagement in a box. So right now, I'm sure you guys have a website, you probably have an email client, you may have like maybe a Google spreadsheet or an Excel spreadsheet that has all your list of contacts, right? You may even have a text messaging service. You guys are really advanced, like text messaging everyone running a meeting. Maybe not, I'm not sure, but you're definitely doing email, you're definitely doing contact lists, and you're definitely trying to build a website. So what NationBuilder is the first system that has all that kind of in one box. I want to make it very clear from the beginning, NationBuilder is not a social media platform. NationBuilder is not a consulting service. NationBuilder is software. In the same way Excel is software, in the same way where Microsoft Word is software, NationBuilder is a cloud-based software. Forgive the government talk. This is a presentation we made for government, but it's kind of around the same idea. Being able to have your website, being able to view residents, right, as you upload your contacts, able to contact them, and then also manage your communications. You know what, I'm gonna just keep it right there. And I'm gonna just kind of talk about a little bit of use case scenarios, the way NationBuilder works. So say you have committees, right? All the board members broken down committees, and you're trying to get different people to sign up for committees. Instead of having someone go and email, let's say Nancy to get onto the communications committee or the outreach committee, and then Nancy, you know, busy woman, she works all day. It's really hard for her to remember, oh, I need to make sure to email this person and remind them for the next committee meeting, right? Or the outreach committee meeting. With NationBuilder, everything's going to be automated. So if someone's interested in being part of a committee, they just go onto the website, they put in their information, okay, I want to be part of this committee, I want to get these email updates, and automatically all that information that they've now given you is appended into their profile in the back. So then when Nancy wants to go and send out an e-blast to all the people on the committee meeting, or on the outreach committee, she could go through her database, search for everyone who's tagged with outreach committee, and then send them a targeted message. So that's kind of a little bit how it works. Everything's very fluid. And since you have all these places, all these different tools built in one box, they're all going to be communicating with each other. So this is a lot of information. I started at NationBuilder 6 months ago. My background is in community organizing, which is why I have this like really loud, robust voice, right? Political organizing, environmental justice. I'm a board member of a nonprofit myself, People for Parks. We're an urban greening nonprofit in LA. We're on NationBuilder. I've been a happy customer. Right now, I'm working with government entities all over the country, mostly in urban planning departments, neighborhood departments, trying to integrate technology to allow them to build more meaningful relationships with their residents. And not only that, also being able to have a website, not only be this like billboard, but be this place where people could really interact with the neighborhood. So, like I said, a lot of information I just kind of gave a lot out to. I'd like to spend the rest of my time up here with you to just answer questions, and also I'm going to make have my business card available. Right before I open up for questions, I just want to let you know, this is again unofficially. I'm not an Empower LA employee, but from the meetings we've been having with Stephen Box at Empower LA, they've agreed that they're going to be paying for the first year of NationBuilder for everyone to use it. Again, it's not consulting, it's not a platform, it is just software. It's as if Empower LA is providing you with influence. So they've agreed to pay for the first year. The pricing is actually relatively cheap. If anyone wants to ask how much it costs, I'll let you know as soon as you ask me that question. You'll be paying for it after the first year that you guys sign up. Right now, Carol's actually has been set up with a trial account that she has access to. If anyone wants to be part of that committee to make this thing happen, please let her know. And hopefully, instead of having to go and talk to your webmaster about changing this little wordage on your website, you'll be able to do that by yourself. You know, so you're cutting out the middleman, and you really be able to do a lot of the work that you would pay someone else to do for yourself. So, I want to open up to questions.
So my question is, how much does it cost? My second question would be, how much do you have to be aware of the Brown Act? Because you're saying you communicate on you have to keep aware of serious meetings, the time frame when you put meeting notices out. Who's in charge of that?
Okay, I need to hold off on 1 second. As I said in the agenda, I didn't want to get into a question and answer situation on these presentations tonight. I want them to go to the technical committee where you can answer all that, okay? Because of the time, because I have other people that are going to get it, and he's going to try to get it all. I understand what you're asking, but I want them to go to that technical committee and deal with Carol then on those questions with Stephen Bach.
Yeah. Exactly. So anything that has to do with compliance, that's Stephen Bach's question.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, there's a reason why they chose to use it. Two, and I'll do pricing really quick, just so everyone's aware. It's all based on the amount of people in your database. So you could have up to 200 emails in your database for $19 a month. You have access to all the tools that I talked about. The next price tier is 2,000 people in your database to $30 a month. And let's just say at the high end, having up to 5,000 people in your database will run you $70 a month. So just so you know the numbers. And then that's probably it for questions. If there's anything pressing from the board.
No, we're going to bring this to a committee with the technical committee and probably outreach as well, but I wanted you guys to get in and give them some kind of a feel around.
Definitely.
It'll allow them now with their questions to consolidate, like Anita will compile a list of questions that she has and then probably work with them. That's fine. No, that's good. That works.
And then for now, Nancy and Carol, you could liaison between me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my business card right now to all the board members. So if you have any questions, just communicate to them and they can talk to me. Okay? Thank you.
Part of the reason I like this is because, well, first of all, our mayor is enamored of the system and has added it. And my understanding is it's like an organizational flow chart. The mayor has a nation, and he would very much like to see each of the neighborhood councils become a sub-nation so that we have the ability to tap into information directly from City Hall. Everything from voter demographics, who lives in our area and what are their needs. That can all be automated through NationBuilder, and I just really like that interface. Also, it means that instead of sending out 500 or 1,000 emails on every topic that I think it's important for stakeholders to know every time, we can create interest groups so that people that are interested in emergency preparedness specifically, they'll get those emails. But if you're not interested in it, you don't get spammed with a bunch of stuff about emergency preparedness, and the same about every other committee. So we can target your needs specifically. And it's just going to be a lot easier to manage. The easier it is to manage, I believe, the better managed it will be.
Okay, thank you. So our next up then will be, we'll switch back over to me, 5 years, Jessica Payne.
Hi, everyone.
And by the way, she's coming in through outreach because she's offering outreach strategy in addition to a lot of different parts. And so we're looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Thank you. I'm going to do my best to use the voice my choir teacher tried to teach me to use in 10th grade. So if you can't hear me, just please pantomime to me. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
I'll stand right there. I know I'm tall, so I want the presentation to be done. So my name is Jessica Payne. I am an Angelino. I live in Eagle Rock. And I'm a volunteer, digital strategist volunteer for Power LA. I was at the Congress a couple weeks ago. I loved it. My claim to fame is I think Seti actually famed it to be a Oliver Twitter. It's just kind of my world. But my realm is digital marketing. So I'm a consultant full-time, but I also volunteer and help kind of impart some knowledge I've picked up along the way in my 11 plus years of PR and digital marketing with the folks at Power LA and Stephen. So in talking with Stephen and going to the Congress and meeting Nancy, I'm just here today to kind of impart some knowledge that I've helped my other clients, my neighborhood use in terms of how do we align to help sort of contribute a bigger impact on community outreach. And I know Andres was just talking about a really cool tool to use. I'm kind of from the 30,000 foot level, so I'm just here to give advice today. I'll have business cards afterwards if you want, but and of course, happy to work through your technical team if you have more questions. This is one of my favorite sayings. I think I say it every time in a meeting, but it's so easy to fall down the rabbit hole in terms of when you start talking about social media and tools and marketing and how busy people are in their real lives, especially when they're doing something like this, in addition to everything else they have going on in their day job. So it's always good to take a step back and think, what can we align so that we're more efficient at what we do? We all have objectives and goals in terms of what people in this room can get out into the community and what we get back. And so when you start thinking about how social media tools can help you do that easier, save time, help you improve your email blast, maybe capture data, it just allows folks to spend more time on things that matter, like communicating quickly, efficiently for what you must communicate, but also what else can you add to the dialogue so that folks are always informed, engaged, and your community can actually offer something a little bit different than just kind of the standard bylaws or minutes or council meeting moment. So when you sort of think about holistically what folks would like to do in terms of what community outreach looks like, this is sort of what I point folks to. It's so easy to just talk about email blasts for a whole meeting or the website, but you need to really think about, and this is what I advise folks to do, is think about all the important pieces of it. Because if they're all not sort of working together, you can easily lose time or find, your outreach isn't as strong as it could be. So just going clockwise, obviously it starts off with your current community outreach program and how you can improve on it. Everyone on board here, people in this room, you know your communities best, better than I. So you kind of know the issues that need to be facing and how you can maybe communicate a little bit better when you do that. And then you start to work your way around the wheel. You currently have social media channels. You start to take a look at how have we used them in the past. Is it worth having so many? Do we not have enough? What do our residents use more than not? If you have a smartphone, if you're Generation Y, X, boomers are the fastest growing demographic on Facebook. These are all things that you should keep in mind in terms of what's the easiest way to keep our constituents informed. And maybe getting on the social media platforms that they're already on can really increase engagement activity that you're already doing. In terms of the website, it's been mentioned again tonight. Rumor has it there are several websites in this community. So as putting my marketer hat on, the idea, Google operates the way it does, and there are certain things you can do, like maybe condensing 4 websites into one, maybe, or maybe into 2, to help folks find you easily. You can then just focus on one piece of data and traffic, stuff that's, again, it saves time versus having to now manage 4 properties. What can you do to really consolidate it? And it was talked about earlier today, updates. It just makes that whole thing easier. So again, just something I noticed, once you have your website sort of up and coming, it really makes stuff like social media that is essentially promoting what's on the website make a little bit more sense. Data capture is simply just analytics. I'm not talking about private data capture. I'm talking about, if you've heard of Google Analytics, some might not have. If you have a website, Google makes it very easy to just open the doors to see how much traffic you're getting. What are the more popular parts of the website? Why I bring that up is personally I love data, but to some it's really boring. But to folks who maybe run the website, or maybe choose to stream out the email blast, or maybe even do something up there called a newsletter, analytics are so easy to understand now. They weren't a couple years ago. That again, that's more empowerment for those running the website or the community to know, wow, there was a huge spike of interest in X topic. Maybe we should bring that up at the next council meeting. Or wow, we've never had so many questions on X. And again, people love that because you're having a direct impact on relevancy, right? Folks feel like they're being heard. So again, hopefully you can kind of see how they play into each other. And I talked about the newsletter already. We've heard about NationBuilder. There's so many tools out there that with a small subscription, you could really use that to amplify the email blasts you're doing. But what you might not be getting from the email blast is the data. And data is so important, again, If you use something like Campaign Monitor or Constant Contact, it's just a tool that those who work with email will probably know what it is. Again, with 2 clicks, you can just see the data. And again, that's intel that goes back to the council to say, we have a huge interest in X or Y. Or maybe this isn't getting so much attention, and we need to fix that. So again, the whole idea is to look at it holistically, take it step by step, and do your best to not try to fixate on one over the other. This is sometimes kind of a new thought process that I like to introduce folks to, so just take it from there. Pretty much everything that leads up to it is you just want to bring everything you do alive. So you want something that the residents love, they find it of value. I tell all my clients, at the end of the day, you just want to produce content of value. You know the value message that the residents want. So something that's alive, a little bit more than just black and white information. So in terms of where you start, these are just some top-line recommendations. I've talked about a few of them that I encourage folks in this room to just start thinking about. Think about combining that website maybe into one. Look at the content that informs folks the most. Hot topics, trending topics. Maybe think about a calendar for your emails and social media. It makes it much more easier to organize and take less time. And maybe combine an online newsletter with some of your printer mailers. Again, that gets you data for your email list when you're keen to build up. And then just other P's and Q's like make sure that you have multiple layers of admin access to all these social media channels and websites. You can move, delete. Sometimes it makes sense to have 2 or 3 people. These are just things I picked up along the way that it's a headache down the line, but if you think about it now, it's something that can save you loading time. And then again, just see where you can combine your forces. Maybe residents have recommendations so that you can really increase your output and not adding to the capacity. So I think I'm going to leave it there. The rest of the slides is just my information. I'll have business cards, but that was really just for you, and I guess we're not thinking about it, unless there's anything else to do.
You might want to mention what the business is.
Yeah. So I'm a consultant. My business is called Strategy for Impact. And again, I'll have contact information out there, but this is me.
We actually have, if you don't have handouts for contact information.
So I do everything from writing social media policy, crisis communications. I started off in traditional PR, so content and communities is what I do. But today I'm simply a volunteer. More than testing things.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, next up is a presentation from my counterpart over in Lake Balboa Neighborhood Council, Linda Gravani.
Oh, I'm stuck to the chair. Like information while I get set up.
Go for it.
You probably will be doing Linda, we're giving you twice as much time.
Do you want the microphone?
Yes.
Okay, cool, no problem. Dave, is that set up on? Yes. Great, thank you. Oh, your time's up, I'm sorry.
I'm not leaving.
Well, while we're getting me set up, I am Linda Gravani. I am the president of Lake Balboa Neighborhood Council. I've been on the council for about 3.5, 4 years. I kind of wandered in when there was an opening, just like you're trying to do, and then all of a sudden the next thing I know is I'm the first vice president. I'm in charge of this, I'm doing that, and now I'm on the election committee, and there's a new election, and it just kind of snowballs. And the major thing is that everybody here is volunteering their time for the betterment of the community, just like we are. And one of the tools that I'm going to talk about today is the community impact statements. North Hills. That's it. Perfect. And how do I advance? Oh, okay. assistant. Thank you, Dana. Can you all see?
That's good.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so neighborhood council's purpose, according to the LA City Charter, Section 900, is to promote more citizen participation in government and make government more responsive to local needs. You want to advance, please? Oh, perfect. So that means community impact statements. What is a community impact statement? It's an official statement to express the position of your neighborhood council on matters before the city, the council files. Not to be used for personal opinions. Only neighborhood councils are given this privilege. So for all the city departments and all the city committees, only neighborhood councils have access to community impact statements, so it's very powerful. Okay, where is this? Okay. So why do you want to use a community impact statement? Well, how will your elected officials know what your community is interested in if you don't tell them? You don't want to drive into LA, wait for the agenda item, and only have 2 minutes to speak before the city council. So it's just like here. You get a card, fill it out, and you get 2 minutes. That's it. And then they move on to something else. So community impact statement says you don't have to go downtown. Before we can submit a community impact statement, we need to know what's going on. Neighborhood councils can't do it all. And for you, Carol, you're taking on a large chunk of time to look at community impact statements or to look at council files. I'm of the opinion that everybody in this room needs to be the eyes and ears of your community. If you're interested in an area, emergency preparedness and beautification, whatever, you need to be looking at those council files. Have your committees identify the city departments that will affect them. We all need to be watching. Why? City council meets 3 times a week. Do you know how many issues they look at? You just don't have the time. You'll have to quit your day job so you can volunteer for your neighborhood council. So what do? How do we get this information? You go on to the city's website, which is lacity.org. And over there, you'll click on city government where the blue arrow is. And that will take you to, go back, yeah. Okay, under city government, you'll see on the right side, it says subscribe to meeting agendas and more. The city agendas that I would recommend you do is the council committee and ad hoc committee meeting documents. You want to go into that. And that will take you to this page. This is where you can sign up for all the different committees that are happening throughout the city of Los Angeles. It's Arts, Parks, Health, and Aging. It's Audit Committee, Budget and Finance, Economic, anything. Now do be careful. If you sign up for everything as I did, it'll probably blow out your email. So I'll show you can subscribe and you can also unsubscribe at the same spot. So you just want to add your name and you want to add the email address, and miraculously you'll be getting updates on all these city files that the departments are working on. Next one. When you sign up for that, this is what you'll receive in your email. And you'll see, which is difficult to see because of, there we go. There's a council file number, and then it says CD3. So this is a particular item that's really important to Council District 3. The next one is a council file, and it's going to the City Council, and it's affecting Council District 5. The following one is Council District 7, 13, and so on. And down here, where it does not have a council file, city file, council district, excuse me, then it applies to everybody. So I would keep an eye on your neighborhood councils or your council districts close by you, because it may affect Council District 12, but I'm in Council District 6 and we're adjacent. So there might be something that's affecting both of us in a halo effect. Okay, to actually look at the council files, you can go into cityclerk.lacity.org, and the blue arrow shows you where the council files are. If you click onto that, you get this council file management system. And the simple search will allow you to type in the actual council file number if you have one. You can also type in an item, for example, shopping carts. There's some issues that have happened in the past with shopping carts. It doesn't work as well as you would like it to, but it's okay. If you have the council file number, that's the best. So you type in the council file in the search, and it would be just the year, which is 13 or 14, dash, and then the actual number itself. Sometimes there's an S after it because of a subfile. And if you see the question mark that's in orange and an orange circle, if you hover over that, it will say, this is what I mean by this. So it gives you a definition. The next one, please. So if you type in a council file number, and at the moment, street vending has been real important to a lot of people. So you see in the simple search, I've typed in 13-1493, which is the council file number. And on the right side, if you click on that number, it will take you directly to that council file. And this is what you would get. You would get the title of this file, which is street vending, the date it was received and introduced, the last day it was changed, and when it tends to expire. They're usually good for 2 years. Sometimes they're an extension. The reference numbers, where it came from, pending in committee. This is really important. Economic Development Committee, Public Works and Gang Reduction Committee. So this is a council file that was sent down to these subcommittees to do some action, because the city council says, we don't have enough information to vote on this. We need to send it to another department and find out, is it going to affect this issue or not? And on the right side, you'll see there's a slide bar. You see it says motion 11/6 of 2013, I think it is. That's the actual motion. If you click on that, you'll find out what the motion actually stated. And you'll also see over here at the bottom, date and activity. Right here. You'll see the Adobe symbol. If you click on that, you'll get actually everything that's in the file as well. So both are actually the same. If you click on the next one. So when you click on the motion, this is the motion. And you'll see it's sent to Economic Development, Public Works and Gang. It's got related council files, and it says street vending in the city right of way and sidewalk is illegal, blah, blah, blah. And if you read that, then you'll find out what the city is considering. Next slide. Now back to the City Clerk Connect. There's an advanced search. And those of you that are chairs of committees, this is extremely important to you, because you can do a search by city council committee. So again, if you're interested in emergency preparedness, if you're interested in the budget, if you're interested in arts and parks, I would recommend that you click on that down arrow and start looking at those council files that are extremely important to you. My time's running out, excuse me. Okay, next file. If you are interested in a particular file, you'll see the envelope up there where the arrow is. If you click on that, it will ask you for your email address. So what this is going to do for you is it's going to send you any updates to that specific council file. So you don't have to be looking at every single one. Yes, you want an overview of the other things that are happening, but this one's real important to us. Next one. Each time the council file is referred to another department, your neighborhood council must send in a new community impact statement. Why? Because they may have changed what you're opposed to. You don't know. It went down to committee, it's coming back, and now you think, okay, yeah, we can do this. So you have to make sure that you're watching the files. Absolutely. Next one, please. Keeping track of the council files is the heavy lifting. Submitting a community impact statement is really not difficult. Next slide. Who can submit a community impact statement? Maximum of 5 members on your neighborhood board. The selection has to be agendized. Neighborhood council letter and/or resolution, copy of minutes forwarded to the city clerk. You'll then get information on how you can access. And basically, they'll give you your sign-in and your password, and then you get this form. When you complete this form, it pre-fills a lot of things. It asks you what your council file number is. It asks you, are you for or against it? They now added a couple more. I'm for it if it would do this. I'm against it if it would do that. So you've got a little more leeway. You have only 100 words. They've given us another section for another 100 words. However, that's really 450 characters. It's not 100 words. It's 450 characters. And then you can also attach some documentation that you might want to attach to the file, or pictures, or whatever. Next one. So what happens when you do that, you'll see this was beekeeping, Council File 12-0785, and you'll see Community Impact Statement, yes, and you'll see all the neighborhood councils that support. Next one. Council District 12, you see all the neighbors around here. Your council member wants to be re-elected, so if you know what's going on in your community, you can, the voice of your neighborhood council is loud, but the voice of your other neighborhood councils within your council district is a little bit louder. Thank you. Next one. Community impact statements, powerful tool. Few neighborhood councils are using them. Include your stakeholders for the heavy lifting. We can't do it all. Whatever you're interested in, keep an eye on it and let your board know. Let your neighborhood council's voices be heard at City Hall. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we have one more, which is not on the agenda, but it's a quick announcement. Go ahead, Mike Cable.
I would just like to thank the board for their generous support of the 2014 Street Fair held in Granada Hills. I could not keep track of everybody who showed up, but Deborah and Nancy and Carol were big help in pulling this off. I think the people that were there had a very, very good time, and hopefully we can bring it back next year even stronger and better. So thank you very much.
Okay, Linda and Jessica, thank you for your presentations.
Can I chime in as to who actually was there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. To give credit, actually, we've had a lot of activities since our last meeting, and we've had presence at all of the activities I'm aware of. But at the Granada Hills Street Fair, our staffing, Carol Hart, her fiance Alan Swayze, I was there, Poonam was there, Deborah Perkins was there, Mike Khalid was there, and we had a stakeholder, Ruth Sitzer, who also showed up. Oh, I'm so sorry. And David Hyman was there. Whoops! And David Levine, our minute writer, was there. So we had pretty good participation. And if I can, he'll probably shoot me, but on the other activities, we've had good participation. The Congress of Neighborhood Councils. You had Poonam and Dave Brown organize help with the materials as you checked in. Carol, Deborah Perkins, Gary Fordyce, and myself were also there, in addition to Dave and Poonam. At the Valley Disaster Fair on September 27th. We had a table there. John McGovern, Carol Hart, Alan Swayze, myself, and Ruth Sitzer, our stakeholder, also helped out. At the Mission Hills Officer Appreciation Day on Wednesday, October 8th, we had Poonam Gawarkar, Dave Brown, and David Hyman. And let's see, at the New Horizons Equipment Services Annual Awards Banquet, our own Dave Brown provided sound, gratis. And I'm missing one, but anyway, I know, at the bank on Thursday, October 9th, at the bank Board of Supervisors candidate debate, David Hyman and Rosalind were there, Carol Hart and Allen, Gary Fordyce, and myself. Did I miss anyone? So you've had a very active board in our local activities.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board? Okay. One more real quick announcement. There will be a Plum Committee meeting, and it will be the first Tuesday of November. Original paperwork used to say Mondays, but in this particular case, because Poonam is on our Plum Committee, and he works with North Hills East as well, we are going to be holding it on the first Tuesday of November.
Which meeting is that?
That'll be your Planning and Land Use Committee.
Selection night.
It'll be the first Tuesday, I don't know the date, but you'll get your agendas out there. I'm just giving you a quick update on it.
I have one more that I forgot.
No, that's not.
Your outreach committee is meeting the first Thursday of each month, and we're meeting at Fire Station 87. First Thursday
Thank
of
you.
each month.
You got it.
Sorry.
Yes, go for it.
I don't really have much involvement here with the tech support committee, but I would like to put it out there to anybody that is interested and willing to get involved in the more technical aspects, including the social media and all things pertaining to the technology that we use to get the word out. I would invite you to contact me because I will set the meetings according to people's availability. I haven't set a meeting because so far I haven't found anybody else that's available to meet with me. So I'm kind of it right now. Armando's very, very busy right now, so I'm not asking him to show up. He does enough with posting things to the website. And also, Dave and I have been active with the emergency preparedness things, obviously helping with the disaster preparedness fair. We want to continue that. We'd like to see more trainings available. We'd like to do more outreach around emergency preparedness and public safety. Again, if you are interested in those things, please let myself or Dave Brown know. We will set meetings that are appropriate to those who wish to be involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Can I be a brand?
Yes.
By the way, my stakeholder committee members and those that aren't officially on the committee, but we'd like you to join, Martha, Helen, and Kathy, and Bonnie and Jim seem to come to everything. And we would like to add you officially on outreach if you'd like to be added, and anyone else that has interest. Again, we're going to be meeting the first Thursday of the month. One of the other things you might want to look at is we did update the trifold. So it has the current website on it, it has the current board phone, and anyway, you might want to take a look at that.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else to my left? Mike Lee.
I know you forgot about this, but on September the 24th, my ethics committee certificate expired. So you don't get into any surprises, I got a new one.
Yes, I saw it come across the line. Thank you. Okay. Gary?
Yes, 3 items. Number one, I hope that my standing rule proposal will be accepted in spirit and truly a outreach to interested stakeholders who might like to seek a board position takes place. Secondly, this board has been seated now for 8 months, and there has been virtually no real effort to staff committees, inviting stakeholders. I hope that that will finally take place. And thirdly, last night I attended a Get Out the Vote meeting in Van Nuys City Hall, and virtually the city is desperate at this point because of the extremely low voter turnout and the apathetic voter. Apparently it's a little higher with governor, and yet even double that with president, but when it comes to city votes, it's dismal. Get out there and vote. One reminder I can make is that there was a secession movement in the San Fernando Valley, which is what created the ballot issue that you, the voter, created neighborhood councils by changing your city charter. And yet, look at this room. The clamor was there, but where are the stakeholders in these meetings? And it continues on into not voting for city officials. So you wanted a voice, which created neighborhood councils. Encourage your friends and your neighbors and your children and anyone else. Not your dog, not your cat. But try to get everybody out and vote, and let's turn this thing around. I believe that neighborhood councils can play a huge part in doing that. And again, I have applications for, if you have any friends, neighbors, extended family members, I have them with me tonight, and I'll gladly give you all you need. Thank you.
Left to right. Where? David? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about, these meetings. On the NRLA website is showing a regular first Monday of the month committee meeting, which was done in the past. The old website, the .net website.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. We're going to erase it.
Yeah, if you would take that
In fact,
down.
we didn't know about the Google deal until
Yeah.
Terry told me earlier, so we're working on it. Thank you. That's why we know some of the newer nights. Okay. Number 7, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?